And so now I'm going to do some plant pots. Okay, so plant pots. So they're going to kind of be sort of sitting along the rest of the windowsill. It can be different size plant pots. I could have one there and maybe a bigger one there, because you can't really have one here, because if you're going to do flowers, you need to have something to rest them up against. So I could have kind of one kind of plant pot there. I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to start off with a ball, and then kind of shape it into plant pots. Are narrower at the bottom, or some are, and wider at the top, and then just put your finger inside it like that with your thumb to create the idea. So we could have, in fact no, I think I'm gonna make it smaller, because I'm going to build it up in two separate parts, I think. So I'm going to make one ball, make a ball, pinch it at one end so it is smaller, pop it down there, then make another ball, but then flatten it, and then put it on top of the other ball, and that will make quite a nice plant pot shape, I think. Quite flat, quite fat plant pot. So once you've stuck that on top of it, you can then kind of stick your finger in, kind of swirl it round, so it's that kind of shape. Can you see? It's quite a nice round plant pot shape. So then I'm going to score it at the bottom, score it here, and here's my paintbrush. I'm going to stick that there, stick that there. That's quite a nice plant pot, I think. So I think I'm going to do the same with that one. I'm just going to pinch it at the bottom. I'm going to get some more dough. I'm going to flatten it slightly. And I'm going to add it to the top of that one and stick it. Stick it to the top of this one. Okay. And I've got another nice plant pot that I can stick there. So I'm just gonna just put some texture there so I can put my plant in there. Now there's a few things you could do. If you have some of these little flower pressers, you could use them to cut out some flowers. That's a quick cheating way to do it, but it will still work really well. So what you do is you get a bit of dough, flatten it, so it's quite thin, and then you get your cutters and you can cut out some flowers. So I've got, no, I don't want that one, that's a start. So I've got a little flower cutter here. Oh, I know where that other one went. So you just push. Oh no, that's not going to work. That's no good one. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to push that in, push out your flower. Now you've got a little flower there, and what you can do with some very, very thin coils, that's put too much water on that. You can make some stalks. So can you see just all you're doing? That's all you're doing in the palm of your hand. Just backwards and forwards until they get quite thin. You get quite a thin coil. I would wet it first. Get your little knife. So you can do some like little stalks coming out of the plant pot. You can do whatever decoration you want to do on the window, on this bit. I mean, you can go to town with that. You can do whatever you like on decorating your window plaque thingy. You see? I've got another one there. That can go. That's a bit longer than the other one. So I've got 2, maybe 3. Maybe I could put 3 in that one. So I've got some flowers kind of coming out of my pot. So you can cut out quite a few of these little flowers like that. But like that. That's cheating. I'm cheating. Now there is a way you can do it if you don't have a cutter. It's absolutely fine. I'll show you how to make a flower, dead easy flower. I'll show you how to do it. So you get a small bowl. You flatten it, you get your skewer or your knife, and you cut. So you go, if you watch, you go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So you've got your little, it doesn't look much like a flower at the minute. So all you need to do now is just get your skewer and just fold in those edges. You see? Fold in those edges so they're not pointed. Nothing in nature really is sort of square on the ends like that, is it? So can you see it's looking more like a flower? And then you put your little hole in the middle and you've got your little flower. So that's a dead easy way to make a flower, and I can pick that up. with my skewer like that, and I can just put some water on and then just push that down with my paintbrush. So I'm going to do that now for a bit. I'm going to put some more stems and maybe some leaves. I could make some leaves. Leaves are dead easy. The leaves, you just get a little bit and you just pinch it at one end, flatten it, and then you've got a little leaf shape. So you could put some leaves. You could put some leaves on your stems as well. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time and do that. Okay, so that's as you can see, I've finished the flowers, and I put a little flower there in the middle. You can put whatever else you like a little heart or something like that. It's quite a nice little plaque. Now, if you want to hang your plaque from the wall, on the wall, what I suggest you do is just get a little piece of wire and just attach it to the top, or something, or a hook, or a metal hook that you can push in. I don't have any of those at hand right now, so what I think I would probably do is attach it here and here by a little tack into the wall there and there. But if you don't want to put tacks into your wall, if your mum and dad don't want you to do that, then what you could do is just get a little picture hook and just push it into the top. Or if you want to do two at the bottom, here and here, that would secure it as well. So you've got like a hook here and a hook here and a hook here, but I don't have any of those at hand at the minute. But if you do want to hang it from the wall, now is the time to put those hooks in before you put it in the oven. I'm going to put it in the oven initially for an hour, just for an hour, on at 145 degrees. It's a very low heat. It's important to cook it really, really slowly, because if you cook it too quickly, it will split and crack. So you have to cook it for quite a long time, really, really slowly. So I'm initially going to put it in for an hour and then take it out. So we'll see what happens after an hour. Okay, so this has been in the oven for an hour, and can you see it's stuck to the baking paper? So it's important at this stage that we just try and separate it, because otherwise you kind of get the baking paper sticking to the back, and when it starts to get really solid, it's hard to get off. So can you see it's all stuck together now, and it's not going to collapse. But if you turn it over, it's very, very doughy on the back there. You can press it and it's soft. So that means it's nowhere near cooked. So we need to put it back in the oven for quite a few more hours. Now, it's really important to cook it really slowly, and then it's not going to split. It's not split anywhere, even on the back. It's not split, so that's really good. So we're just going to keep cooking it really slowly as we put that back in the oven. Now, as you can see, it's out of the oven. It's been in the oven for about 12 hours. I kept taking it out and just pressing and tapping the back, and you have to keep putting it back in if you can feel any sponginess, and you hear that kind of tapping noise. So you know it's solid all the way through. Mine's bowed a little bit. Sometimes that will happen, but it's fine. It all adds to the character. I think it will still lie flush against the wall. It's fine. So that's ready for us to paint. Now, the best type of paint for you to paint salt dough is gouache. Most of you won't have gouache. It's an artist paint. But I wouldn't use, if you've got acrylic, I wouldn't use acrylic because it tends to be too porous and just suck up acrylic, and it looks a bit powdery on the surface. The best type of paint that you probably likely to have in your house is this ready mix kind of poster paint. That's fine to use, but you probably have to put quite a few layers of that on for the colour to be nice and solid. So after you put one layer on, what I do is I use a hairdryer just to make it dry a bit quicker, and then I can put my second layer or maybe even the third layer of paint on, depending on how solid I want the colour. But that's ready to paint now, so we can do that. Okay, so we've painted our little window here. So the next thing to do is to varnish it. Now, salt dough is very susceptible to damp because it contains so much salt. It will just absorb the dampness from the air, especially if you've got it in a kitchen where you're cooking and there's lots of steam and things like that. So it's really important to seal it with a varnish, in particular varnish which contains something called polyurethane. Now the polyurethane makes the varnish more durable, it makes it more watertight to stop the dough from absorbing the moisture from the air. So definitely use a polyurethane varnish. You can get that from any kind of hardware shop. So that's just what I'm going to do now. The only thing about the polyurethane in the varnish is that it does tinge it a little bit, makes it a bit yellowy. You'll see in a minute. There's a bit of a yellowy tinge to the pastel colours that I've used, but there's not really a great deal I can do about that. I would rather it be a little bit yellowy than it goes soft prematurely. So, but you can see I'm dipping my brush in and then I'm wiping the excess off. What you don't want is it to pool in areas, or collect in areas, because it's pooling a bit there, and it does look really yellow if it starts to create like a little pool of varnish. So you don't need a lot of varnish on your brush at all, and then just spread it out as far as it will go before you put any more varnish on your brush. It actually goes quite far. You don't need lots of varnish on it. Just a thin layer of varnish will be absolutely fine. You see there where it's a bit yellowy there, isn't it? Just spread it out where you see those kind of yellow patches forming. So you can see that didn't take long at all. So I've just given it a light coat, and you can see what a sparkle it gives to the surface. So it's got a really nice kind of glossy surface. Now I will have to do the back, but I can't do that until the top is dry. So I'm just going to leave it at that now. And when I've done the back and that's dry, it'll be ready to hang on the wall. So that's our salt dough project complete. So you can see that didn't take long at all. So I've just given it a light coat, and you can see what a sparkle it gives to the surface. So it's got a really nice kind of glossy surface. Now I will have to do the back, but I can't do that until the top is dry. So I'm just going to leave it at that now. And when I've done the back and that's dry, it'll be ready to hang on the wall. So that's our salt dough project complete.